Hi everyone, welcome to Ethernal Realms and welcome to the month ahead astrology reading. Make sure you check your sun, moon, and rising signs for a comprehensive view of the month. Additionally, I would recommend watching the tarot reading of the month ahead to get a different perspective. While you will know the astrology in advance through this session, I will also send you a reminder when the astrological events are near. All you have to do is subscribe, hit the bell, and you will be notified as the events occur through my community page. I occasionally post behind the scenes, meditation guidance, quizzes, and polls, which you can check out for yourself. And it goes without saying that you will be notified when new videos are out, such as other zodiac readings and pick a card tarot readings as well. If you prefer to cut down the guesswork about your month ahead, you can always connect with me via Etsy to get a personalized week-by-week month ahead tarot reading paired with the general astrology. Enough about me, let's talk about you. So let's talk a little bit about the overview of the month first. We have two full moons this month. One on the 1st of August is a full moon in Aquarius, and on the 31st we have a full moon in Pisces. On the 16th, we have a new moon in Leo, so lots of lunar events occurring this month compared to the previous ones. Other interesting things is that Mercury is going to go retrograde in one of its home signs, Virgo, and the shadow period for that is going to start on the 3rd of August, and the retrograde itself occurs on the 23rd of August. The zodiac sign moves from Leo season to Virgo season, also on the 23rd, and Mars is changing signs from Virgo to Libra on the 27th. Apart from that, we have Uranus in Taurus going retrograde as well. And keep in mind, Venus is still retrograde at this time, and so is Neptune, even Saturn. So we have lots of planets going retrograde. Pluto, Saturn, Neptune, and Uranus, Venus as well. Okay, so lots of retros. Okay, let's get into it and see what this means. So on the 1st of August, we have a full moon in Aquarius. So the moon is in Aquarius in your 12th house and the sun is in Leo in your 6th house. So this brings about a culmination connected with a part of yourself, or this can be related with spirituality, finding some time to rest, recuperate. It can even be the end of holidays and you're rejuvenated, replenished, and you're ready to get back to everyday work or routines. This can also be a point where you release or pivot certain things, so you know that certain sleep habits or relaxation habits are not truly relaxing you, so you might be letting those things go and adopting some new modalities. On the same day, we have a trine between Mars in Virgo with Jupiter in Taurus. So Virgo is in your 7th house of relationships and one-to-one connections, and also your relationship to relationships, okay? And Taurus is connected with your 3rd house of communication, short distance travel, anything related with your mind, mindset, mentality, all of that. Also connects with siblings and relatives. It can be that your partnerships are connecting really well with your siblings, for example, or it can just be that you are having a one-to-one connection with your siblings or relatives. This also indicates that you have good relationships with your coworkers, and the projects that you are engaged in, they are really leading you to more flourish, basically. Okay, on the 2nd, we have an opposition between Mercury in Virgo in your 7th house and Saturn in Pisces, and Saturn is retrograde, and this is of course in your zodiac. So there might be some changes you are going through, maybe releasing certain restrictions that you put on yourself or certain expectations that have been put on you, ways that you are stopping yourself from fully being you and expressing yourself creatively and fully. Now, this can be a result of a communication or event connected to relationships, whether it is an existing connection or a new relationship. There can be some communication that's basically happening, and it just kind of gives you a new perspective, basically. Now, oppositions are all about finding balance or moderation. There can be, instead of going either they are right or I am right, this is basically saying both of you are right, but in specific manner, okay? On the 3rd, we have Mercury entering shadow zone. So whatever happens between the 3rd till the 23rd is likely to be revisited or revised when Mercury goes retrograde. So take note of what's happening in your mind with your relationships. There can be some more miscommunications than usual with your partner, so make sure to be explicitly clear about what you're meaning. But on the plus side, this also enhances your intuitive skills. So maybe you can sense what your partner is wanting to have happen, especially because you are already an intuitive sign. Okay, on the 7th, we have the Sun in Leo squaring with Jupiter in Taurus, and Leo is in your 6th house of employees or your work life, your routines, lifestyle, your habits in general. And Taurus is again your communication, short distance travel, and all of that. So this can be about having more focus at work, or there needs to be some like extra stuff needing to be get done, and that can be a little bit hard to put in your everyday schedule or routine. You might not know exactly when to plan for things, and even if you do, it might be a little bit cramped for you, so you don't have too much time to rest and recuperate your mind around this time. It can also mean that you're having to, talk a lot, or if you're a mentor or a guide in some way, this can be just you having to make things very, very clear, and that just requires a lot of attention and focus. On the 9th, we have another square, which is engaging the same houses, but the planets are different. Venus is retrograde in the sign of Leo, and Uranus is in Taurus. So this can talk about unexpected developments connected with communication, short distance travel, certain plans or strategies you have going on. And the 3rd house also connects with, sales and marketing as well. So it might be that you recognize, okay, what I'm doing is either working or it's not working. When we have a square, it's just very clear. Some action needs to be taken, something is resolved, it's a point of activation. If this is not the situation, there is nothing ongoing, this indicates that you might feel a little bit frustrated if you're not engaging in something you enjoy or feel passionate about in your everyday routine. So if you incorporate some type of hobbies, you're just likely to feel more liberated and as though you're moving towards a breakthrough. On the same day, we have another square, which is between Pluto in Capricorn, and Pluto is retrograde, and it is squaring with the North Node in Aries. Now, Capricorn is in your 11th house of networking, your organizations, your just large-scale humanitarian thoughts. Are you involved in certain charities or causes? It also connects with your friendship circle at large. So with Pluto here, there can be some changes that your friends are going through or your network is going through. Maybe you're resonating with a different friend circle or friend group, and this can be triggered by the North Node, which is an Aries in your 2nd house. So your priorities are shifting, or there are more focus connected to your material assets and possessions. What do you value in life, or what are you valuing at this time for yourself? What needs to get done, and who can help you get there? That's essentially the point here. Now, squares with the North Node are very fated, and they bring about breakthroughs. Like whether or not we want it right now, right then, it is going to bring about some breakthroughs, okay? But the other thing is that, Pluto is a little bit far off planet. You might not feel it very, very obviously around this time, but nevertheless, it is going to create some, long-term shifts. On the 10th, we have a favorable aspect between Mercury and Virgo with Jupiter in Taurus. So once again, nice communication, good relationship with your partner, open conversations, honesty, loyalty, dependency, reliability, all of these wonderful things are in the equation for you. And this also includes business partnerships. So whoever you're collaborating with on any project, there is likely to be, open conversation that I can't do this today. Could you take over? Or I have these things going on. Could you help me out with this? And so on and so forth. On the 13th, we have a conjunction between the Sun and Venus. Venus is retrograde, and all of this is happening in the sign of Leo in your 6th house. So clarity about some mystery illnesses, or what do you enjoy? What do you find fulfilling? How can you incorporate that in life? And all of that. If you generally find yourself to be a little bit indecisive about these things, and especially after Venus has been retrograde, it might be a whole seeking of what do I actually enjoy? I don't know. Like, I'm trying this. I thought I would like this, but when I did it, I'm like, yeah, it's fine. That's kind of the scenario that comes to mind when Venus is retro, in general. So what might work, what you enjoy, you can't really guess that unless you go for it and just try it out. So the sun coming here indicates that there's some type of clarity or illumination coming in. Okay, so health issues as well, ongoing or not, it is still how can you improve your well-being, mental, physical, emotional, everything. On the 16th, we have a new moon in Leo, so it looks like there's even more clarity here, or this is the time of a new beginning. Now, keep in mind that this new moon is going to be squaring with Uranus. So this can talk about sudden breakthroughs or again unexpected ideas and epiphanies that come to mind, and you're like, oh, okay, so I could try this, I could try that, something like that. Or on the other side, because it's still a weekday, it might be that you have unexpected conversations or communication that might add a little bit of responsibility to your everyday life and routine, and now you have to kind of figure out how do you organize this, or how do you plan for this so that you're not compromising on yourself nor the obligations or responsibilities that you have going on. It is a time of the new moon, so it does lack a little bit of experience, so you might feel as though, yep, I can totally do this, no problem, it's amazing, I love this, and yes, that might be true, but your energy levels are not going to be the same every single day. So if it looks like it is pushing against the boundary that you have, then maybe try to find some other arrangement. And it is likely that another arrangement can be made because you do have the supportive energy of Mars in Virgo with Uranus in Taurus. Okay, same day. So this indicates that even though there are unexpected things developing and you might be like, oof, okay, I have to manage this now, or I'm climbing up the ladder and that's exciting, but I gotta have more discipline in life, or whatever the case is. But you do have help from one other person or some other people that you're constantly in collaboration with, your one-to-one connections. They can help you out, manage things, or they're just a very helpful support and a dependable source at this time. On the 21st, we have another favorable aspect. This is between the sun in Leo with the North Node in Aries. Now, this is working with your second house of finances and possessions and your sixth house of health, lifestyle, routines. So this can talk about the work and the efforts that you're putting in. They are bringing in an increase in your finances. But with the North Node there, it can also indicate there's an increase in expenditure because there is an increase in finances. So just be watchful of that. But in general, this is likely going to make you feel quite motivated and inspired, and it'll show you that you're on the right track and you can be more independent and kind of support yourself in any way you see fit. On the 22nd, we have a square between Venus in Leo with Jupiter in Taurus, and Venus is retrograde at this time, and this is activating your third house and your sixth house. So this again can talk about, you're desiring to have everything perfect, or you're desiring to have everything managed very well and also feel good at the same time, but there might be more communication coming in, or other people need your support or guidance and mentorship in some way, so you're not able to follow through on this ideal type of routine around this time. You're still feeling good though, because it's Venus and Jupiter. These are really beneficial planets, and Jupiter is your ancient ruler as well, so it's still making you feel nice because you're needed, your help is required, your expertise is very much valid for the people around you and all of that, but it can be a little bit exhausting. The same day, we have an opposition between Mars in Virgo with Neptune in Pisces, and Neptune is retrograde in your zodiac. So this can again be an increase in activity connected to your partnership life. There is also more passion, by the way, whenever Mars is there. But in general, it might be that you need to manage the amount of energy that you're putting in towards others. And this is not only your romantic relationships. This is just other people and what they're needing from you at this time. They might be like, no, you do this for me. Instead of taking your help, they might try to make you do the work. Okay, so this is where the boundaries come in, and with oppositions, it's always about trying to find that right balance and moderation. This is as far as I can go, this is as far as I can help, and beyond this point it is up to you. So that's going to be on you to express. But the good news is that Neptune is retrograde, so it is likely to be more realistic rather than the traditional selfless and sacrificing type of expression that Neptune generally has. So even if you would love to help everybody all the time unconditionally, you are also like, well, truthfully though, I can't. So here's the guidance, run with it, it'll work. Okay. On the 23rd, the zodiac season shifts from Leo season into Virgo season, and the focus moves away from your work life and management, lifestyle, etc., into your romantic relationships, business partnerships, as well as other one-to-one connections. And the same day, we have Mercury in Virgo going retrograde. Okay, so back up all of your data, revise and proofread any emails, especially things that are important. Proofread those things. If you have any documentation to be taken care of, make sure you have the right documents, read the fine print. I've seen so many times that, that's where all of the lapses happen, and you just have to go back and forth, reprinting everything, re-signing everything, and all of that. So just be careful about that. If you can avoid it, no big movements, no big promises around this time, of course, but life moves on. Everyone has their own priorities, so just keep that in mind. If you are forming some connections or contracts around this time, just make sure that the terms and conditions might change after Mercury goes direct, or there might be some misunderstandings connected with what was agreed when you initially started. Just be aware of that. In a romantic context, yes, there can be more miscommunication, so just make sure you're being explicit and say what you really mean, instead of any other beating around the bush or just expecting that the other person might get it and all of that, because Mars is still there. So it looks like other people are being very busy, so they don't have that much time to, try to understand or guess or anything. Okay, so just be aware of that. Okay. On the 25th, we have a favorable aspect between Mars in Virgo in your 7th house with Pluto in Capricorn, and Pluto is retrograde. This falls in your 11th house. So the hopes, dreams, and aspirations that you have, your partner is with you on this. Okay, your colleagues or your collaborators are with you. They're like, yep, got it, you have a nice idea, or this can totally change the game here. Let's see what further developments and changes we can make in order to make those aspirations come to reality. Or on the flip side, this can be talking about you developing a stronger relationship and friendship with your partners or other one-to-one connections. That you can also be quite helped by the advice you receive, or the changes that others are going through are likely to be beneficial to you, or you're just experiencing this and you're like, that's a nice idea, that's a good transformation, I'm very proud of them, or things like that. On the 27th, we have another opposition between your partnership house and your house. So we have the Sun in Virgo and Saturn in your sign, and Saturn is retrograde. So once again, all of those things that your partner is going through or learning and focusing on, that is likely going to benefit you. But you're also in the position to give some guidance and advice to your partner in case they are the one in need, okay? The same day, we have Mars changing signs from Virgo into Libra. So now activity and busyness is going to be in your 8th house of shared resources, such as shared spaces or finances, but also your, vulnerability, intimacy. How do you share yourself with another? That is going to come in. So in 8th house, Mars is pretty passionate. But Mars in Libra in general may not be the best placement for it, because it is generally ruling the opposite sign. And in Libra, it is like, well, I have to wait for Venus's approval in order to move ahead with anything. But Venus at this time is retrograde. Why I mentioned Venus, by the way, because she's the ruler of Libra. Okay, so whatever happens with Venus, any other planet that's sitting in its home sign is going to be affected by that. Okay, so Mars over here can be a little bit indecisive. Like, I don't know what is blocking me. I don't know what I'm afraid of truly, or what do I feel insecure about. I have no idea what stops me from connecting with someone very deeply. Are there any fears and insecurities connected with past relationships that are affecting your current dynamics? If so, you're likely to work on those things at this time, or at least it's the optimum time to work on those things. Going for therapy, doing some inner work, shadow work, etc., that is going to be highly beneficial. Additionally, on another level, you might be looking to partner up with some people who can help you out with loans or taxes, other investments you're trying to make. Maybe you're connecting with someone, having a conversation. Keep in mind, do your research, revise, replan, all of that. That's really good during Mercury retrograde, but don't make any final decisions at this point, especially if you're doing this for the first time ever. Just be watchful, go with it, go with the motions, no problem there, and see what options you have available, because that's where Mars in Libra can really shine. Looking at both sides of the story, finding a balance point, attending to what could work for you, what is the most suitable for you, collaborating with others on research projects, things like that. That can be helpful. On the 29th, we have Uranus in Taurus going retrograde. So no more new shocks and surprises surrounding your third house. No more unexpected planning and all of that. So it's great and not so great depending on what your bent of mind is. For example, if you're looking for lots of new projects and excitement around this time, like sparks everywhere or epiphanies and sudden breakthroughs and all of that, it's unlikely that it will happen from the outside in. You can still investigate inside out. Okay, and that can still make some changes, but you are going to have to change your circumstances or mindset and things like that. And it also means that you are given this chance to kind of absorb the changes that have happened already, because there's so much going on with Uranus and also Jupiter in your third house that by this point, I think you're ready for some stability, basically. Okay. On the 31st, we have another full moon, and this one is in your sign. So the moon is in your zodiac of Pisces and the sun is in Virgo. And this one might be a little bit isolating. The moon is conjoining this planet of Saturn a little bit. But so this means that you might be spending some time by yourself. So it is ideal if you can do this consciously, in the sense that if you're alone, maybe not getting distracted and being bored and being like, ugh, I don't know what to do. But like, okay, what can I think about, or what can I get busy with? Is there some, spiritual modalities you are interested in trying? Or is it that you would love to work by yourself around this time? There's some type of solitary energy here. You can still attract help from others. That's absolutely still there. But maybe it's best if you work independently, for example, okay, or come up with your own ideas first before running it by others, something of that sort. What else? It is still a time of completion and pivoting and all of that. So if something does not make sense, it does not make sense. It'll be very apparent. If something makes sense, it'll also be very apparent. And because it's a water sign full moon, your sensitivities and your intuition is going to be higher than usual. So pay attention to that inner world. So that's what I have for you. Thank you for being here. I really hope you enjoyed and that the messages help you out throughout the month. Stay tuned for the tarot reading as well. I will be uploading them soon. Make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so you're notified whenever that's up. And if you enjoyed the reading, please do like and comment your thoughts if you have any. It will be really lovely to hear back from you, and it really helps the channel grow as well. I will see you some other time. Until then, take care. Bye.